The Catholic population of Russia is a minority, numbering only 0.1% of the total population. In fact, the total number of Russian Catholics could fit inside half of St. Peter's Square. Despite its small size, the ambassador of Russia to the Holy See, Alexander Avdiv, says that Catholicism is a traditional religion for Russia, and Catholics should enjoy all the rights enshrined in the Constitution regarding freedom of conscience in modern Russia.
Of course, the position of the churches in Russia in the Soviet Union was humiliating, and we remember that. During the years of Stalin's terror, both Orthodox priests with faithful and Catholic priests with faithful were repressed. More than 80,000 Orthodox priests were repressed, and many of them were shot and murdered in the Gulag. The same fate was with the Catholic priests. And after the war, a very slow and complex process of the restoration of the churches began.
The Catholic Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Moscow was only once again used as a church in 1996. Catholic priest Father Kirill Gorbunov tells us more details about the history of this cathedral.
This church that we are in right now is slightly more than 100 years old, and like many churches in this country, this church was closed. It wasn't active as a Catholic church for most of its history. So built in 1911, consecrated in 1911. In the 30s, it was confiscated from the church, it was closed, it was turned into a warehouse. And it was divided into several floors. The actual goal of the authorities probably was to ruin this church, just to make it disappear. But in the 90s, the first time that the Holy Mass was again celebrated here was on the steps of this church, because the church itself was closed for the believers. It was Christmas 1990. Then little by little, several rooms were given back to the faithful. The Catholic Church in present-day Russia was absolutely destroyed, absolutely forbidden, so only a handful of clandestine